What personal development actually works? Here to help us answer that question is Ed Mylett, founder of Mylett Leadership Group. Thanks so much for being here.
It's great to be here.
So why doesn't personal development always work for people?
I think sometimes it doesn't work because of the people teaching it. You know, there's a lot of people in the personal development business that, frankly, have never really done anything outside telling people how to do things they haven't done themselves. And if you get to the real heart of personal development, it really comes down to building self-confidence. The higher your identity is, probably the better you are at producing results. And I don't know that everybody understands truly how to build real self-confidence. And so all of the other stuff fails if you don't have that self-confidence level.
So it all comes down to self-confidence, and you're an expert in this. What is the key to building that confidence?
I think the first key in building self-confidence, it comes from a foundation of something people don't talk about, which is keeping promises that you actually make to yourself. In other words, self-confident people really are self-trusting people. So they have this habit over time of when they tell themselves they're going to do something, they actually deliver on it. And if you stack up those wins over and over again, if you say, I'm going to get up at a certain time in the morning, or I'm going to go to the gym, or I'm going to make a certain amount of phone calls, or I'm going to eat a certain way, if you begin to keep those promises you make to yourself, you begin to build that trust within yourself that you can rely on you. And that's really what self-confidence is. And so typically in personal development, they don't tell you this, but it really starts with keeping the promises that you make to you. And that's the foundation all confidence is built on.
Yeah, because everyone has a value system, and you want to make sure that you're in alignment with those values,
That's
right? And
That's
like
right.
you said, keeping those promises to yourself.
Yeah, well, that's true. And that's another powerful thing of really being able to influence people or building self-confidence is congruency, right? Because I can't transfer to you something that I'm not experiencing myself. So a lot of times people say, well, I want to transfer to people leadership, or I want to influence them to buy my product, or I want to grow my company. You have to really believe these things. They have to really be consistent with your values, because you can't give me something you don't have. And so really successful people, really influential people, powerful people are congruent. They actually live and believe the things they say and do.
I know for me, taking action really builds confidence. You know, sometimes you almost have to fake it until you make it. If you just act confident, you start to feel confident. Do you think that that's true?
100%. You can't, I say this all the time, I can't teach you how to steer a parked car, right? You have to be in motion. You have to be moving. And people wonder, have I really made a decision? The real way we know if you've made a decision to make a change is that it's followed up with immediate, massive action, as you said. And that's the thing. I think there's a lot of people invested in personal development to make it more complicated than it really is, as if there's these secrets, you know, whether it's the authors of the books or mentors or whoever it is. In fact, even you might be invested if you can make it yourself believe that winning is complex, because really complexity is the enemy of execution, right? But if you can make yourself think it's complex, then it's really not your fault you haven't won yet, because you're missing something, rather than it probably being what it really is that you're unwilling or avoiding the work you need to do to really go build your company or build your field force or build your body or build your life. And so it's being able to simplify things and really know that there is no key to really winning. The key is the hard work and keeping things as simple as you can.
So what are some of the biggest barriers that people face on their journey?
Yeah, the biggest barrier is their own identity. No question about it. It's the way they see themselves. You know, there's the old analogy of the thermostat in the room, right? That you're not going to, if your lifestyle is set at 75 degrees, if you get it going really good and life gets heated up to 80, 85 degrees, unconsciously we find a way to cool things back down and get where we're comfortable. Most people, good people, have a hard time winning. Isn't that ironic? They always tell you good things happen to good people. But the truth is that's not always the case, because if you're a good person, it means you're moral and you're ethical. And so what moral and ethical people have is this governor, and that is that they don't ever want to take more than they think they're worthy of or they deserve. A bad person will. That's why some of you even listen to this. People listen to this will say, there's this guy at work and he's always number one on the sales, but he's not a good guy. Because short-term, bad people can actually get ahead of good people. Now, they'll always flame out because you do reap what you sow, and it does come home eventually. But for a good person to win, they actually have to increase what they think they're worth or what they're worthy of or what they deserve, because good people will only take from a business, money, anything in life. They'll only take from the table what they think they deserve. So if you can increase your worth, if you can increase what you believe you deserve, then you'll take more from life.
And the more successful you become, the more haters there are, the more noise there is. Right. So how do you drown that out?
There's a thing in our culture that's killing our culture. It's killing success. And that is that we've become addicted to other people's opinions. We've become addicted to other people's approval. And social media is wonderful, but it's all about how many likes do you get? How many selfies can you take? That may feel good when you get it, but then what it does is it governs your behavior. You begin to only do things to seek other people's approval. And even when you get it, right, It's short term. It doesn't really feel very good. It's not fulfilling. What we really want is not just success. We want fulfillment. The way we get fulfillment is self-respect, is self-confidence. And that's how somehow in your life you must begin to separate what you do from what people think about it. You know this. The people that have really won in life and in business, they eventually drop the addiction to what other people think about them. They're most concerned about what they think about them, or if they're a person of faith, of what their God thinks about them, not the rest of the world. Because the higher you climb, the more haters you're going to have. There's absolutely no question about it. You ought to hope you have more of them. The only thing I will warn people of is the higher you climb, the closer to you the haters are. So right now, if you're at one level of success, it's people at a distance that are haters. But as you climb higher, there's always the one or two people in your close circle who begin to try to pull you back down because they think you're leaving them. They make you, your success is making them uncomfortable about where they are. And so they begin to do everything they can to pull you back down. So the closer the haters are to you, the even more success you're having.
So much wisdom. We could do an entire segment on just that, and we just might have to.
We may need to.
Thank you so much for your time and insights. My guest, Ed Mylett, he's the founder of Mylett Leadership Group, and we are here to inspire, inform, and connect a community of entrepreneurs. This is Business Rockstars.